Right then, let's get straight into this video because it's an exciting new project for us to try. We are going to make some beautiful rings using ring blanks. Again, everything we source to use in making these projects will be listed in the description box below. We're going to use this. It's a cup turner. Never used it before, very much the steep learning curve here for us, but actually wasn't as difficult. Wayne said it definitely wasn't as difficult as we thought. Going to use some UV resin, some grape chameleon powder, a silicone tipped brush, and there we go. So he's mixed some of the grape powder in with the UV resin in this little silicone mixing jug. And then what you do is you switch the cup turner on to the lowest, slowest speed that you can, and very, very carefully just pour it on to the ring blank, which will be going round and round on that long white bar on the cup turner. Now, please, please, please don't do what we've done here. Put something underneath it, a silicone mat or something underneath the white bar that's turning round, so that any of the resin that drips off doesn't drip onto the wood. It drips onto some silicone and then it's easy clean up. Or actually you could cure it and then use it as little accent pieces in other projects. So there we are. So he's just poured it on to the ring blank and realised that some of it's spilt on the wood. Just cleaning it up with a little wipe there. Little wet wipes actually are excellent for clean up. Of course, you can wear gloves if you want to, but Wayne's hands didn't come into contact with the resin, so he felt comfortable not wearing them. Work in a well-ventilated area, wear your mask, all the usual safety precautions. So he's just using the silicone-tipped brush there, the little pointy end bit, just to go up the sides of this ring blank. There we go. Just making sure there that there's no little bubbles, although little bubbles aren't an imperfection in this kind of thing. I think they add to the design, but he's just making sure that the resin's going all the way to the sides. Now he's just, there we go, he's put a silicone mat underneath it just to catch any little resin drips. Now because the UV resin is quite thick, it's not all going to fall off of this ring blank, so it's just adding some more. Of course, you can cure it with a UV light in between, the amounts that, the different amounts that you put on as you're layering up the colour and you're layering up the resin. There we go. So, and once you're happy, you can, of course, then the next step would be to cure it with the UV light. So just a warning, UV light is coming up now. So Wayne did actually cure this for about 3 minutes, I think, in total. Obviously, we're not going to show you 3 minutes of a UV light curing this ring. There's rather a large globule of resin there, so it's just smoothing it out as you go. Make sure you smooth it out before it's completely cured, otherwise it'll go like a piece of rock. It'll be rock hard and you won't be able to do anything with it. Then you'll be in a situation where, do you try and file it down and then pour another layer over the top, or is it something that you wouldn't be able to rescue? So there we go. Just do a little bit at a time and then cure it under the light and so on. So this is after it's fully cured. He's more than happy with it. It's just testing it. And it looks like it's still got maybe a little smudge in there. Just popping the jug back underneath. And now what he's doing is he's doing a top colour coat even. So this is just clear UV resin straight out of its container. Very handy because it's got a nozzle on it. There we are. As you can see there, I think this looks beautiful. So he's just using the silicone tip brush again just to go over the edges there, just making sure that none of the resin is going over on the black edges of the ring blank. And there we go. Yes, another bit of UV curing and almost fully cured. It's just tweaking the little bits, making sure it's as even as possible. Sorry about the light there. Okay, almost done. And then obviously you can build up layers of colours, and you can build up layers of the clear UV if you want to, or as much as you want to. So there we are. It's just taking it off to check it, just to see what it's like. Now this is a different one. This is a beautiful blue, metallic blue ring blank, similar to the first one. The first one was black, this one is blue. And we've used UV resin again, but we've used Aurora tints to add. Now they're not mica powders, they are a powder, but they're a tint, and they're from Resin Jewels, who you can contact via Instagram. Fantastic. Oh, there's a little something in that one. We'll have to wait for it to come round again. It looks like there's a little bit of hard resin, might have been left behind by a when he used the previous ring, perhaps. There it is. He's going to get that out. Is he going to get that out? Third time lucky, maybe? It's going to come round again. Now the ring blank is moving around rather a lot on that white pole, or that white rod. There is a way to fix that, and that is literally just to put a piece of tape round, which I think he does actually do eventually. Oh, there we go. It's a little hard piece of something. There we are. Yeah, it shouldn't be moving around quite like that. So it's just going to do the last little top up of this beautiful blue resin. Sublime this. I'm obsessed with these Aurora tints by Resin Jewels. And a very little amount goes a very long way. Definitely. Fantastic. There's 9 colours. I think they're retail at about £25. Her information and obviously the products, as we said before, we use will be listed in the description box below. So he's got a bit of a globule of resin again there, so she's just going to smooth out using the silicone tipped brush. Yeah, and just a bit more there. These are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, you could do these, you can get your gold mica powders. I mean, you can get all colours of the rainbow in mica powders now. Mixed in with UV resin. You can get all kinds of different colours of ring blanks, and really the world's your oyster. There's so many options, so many different things. You wouldn't have to use these just as rings or wear them just as rings. You could incorporate them in a necklace as a focal point in a necklace. You could add them to a bag charm. You could do, like I said, the world's your oyster, really. So here we go. This is the bit with the blue tape. So a thing to take away from this in future is to probably put the blue tape on first. But like we said, this is the first time of doing this and using the cup turner. And I actually think he's doing a pretty good job. So it's like the first one. He's just going over it now with a clear coat of UV resin straight out of the bottle, utilising the pointed nib or spout part of the bottle just as a guide, putting it on and then smoothing it out and to the edges with the silicone tip brush. There we go. Not curing it at this point either. Not at this point. So there we are. So something a bit different than what we've done before this week in this particular video. Just tidying up the edges there with a bit of I think that is kitchen towel. Just fold it up, hold it along the edge. You can also do this with wet wipe, just to make sure, cleaning it up as you go, because obviously the next stage of this would be to cure it, and resin, once it's cured, is very difficult to get off of anything. So there we are, UV light just curing it. So yeah, this is a different from what we'd normally do with coasters and trays and trinket trays and pots and lidded pots and so on. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Here's the final shot of it. Apologies in advance, the camera was having a real problem trying to focus on these rings. But I still think they look stunning. Absolutely stunning. Hopefully you'll try this one at home, and we look forward to seeing you again in our next video, which is on Wednesday. Take care everyone. Goodbye.